Hey you, yeah, you in your 20s feeling confused, anxious, like everyone else has it figured out but you. Let me tell you something that might just change how you see this moment in your life. You are not behind. You're just beginning. You scroll through Instagram, you see your friends graduating, traveling, getting married, starting businesses. And meanwhile, you're staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering what the hell you're doing with your life. In your 20s, it's incredibly common to feel lost, uncertain, and even anxious about the future. What you need to understand is that this feeling isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's actually proof that you're alive, growing, and evolving. Society has created this false narrative that you're supposed to have everything figured out by the time you reach your 20s. You're supposed to know what career to pursue, who you want to be with, where you want to live, and exactly how your future should look. But the truth is, very few people actually have that level of clarity. Most people are just figuring it out as they go, and the ones who look like they've got it all together, often, they're just better at hiding the confusion. Feeling lost is part of the human experience, especially when you're stepping out of the safety of childhood into the vast, unpredictable world of adulthood. What you're feeling right now, confusion, doubt, fear, that's not failure. That's the early stage of transformation. You're not supposed to have all the answers. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to question things. You're supposed to wonder if you're on the right path. That questioning, that discomfort, is actually a signal that you're becoming aware of what truly matters to you. It's your inner self awakening, whispering that there's more to life than just checking off boxes or meeting expectations. The pressure to be successful in your 20s can create a dangerous illusion that everyone else is racing ahead while you're standing still. But the reality is, this feeling of being lost is shared by millions of people. You're not the only one. You're not alone in this. In fact, feeling lost is a gift. Because it forces you to go inward, it pushes you to explore who you are, what you value, what excites you, and what drains you. That's where true self-discovery begins. It doesn't come from certainty. It comes from being uncomfortable enough to start asking deep, honest questions. And through those questions, you begin to build a foundation, not for a perfect life, but for a real one. One that's shaped by your values, your passions, and your truth. So instead of panicking over the confusion, lean into it. Let it teach you. Let it stretch you. Let it reveal parts of yourself you didn't know existed. This phase of being lost won't last forever, but it's doing a necessary job. It's breaking down the old so the new you can emerge. You're not failing. You're unfolding. You're not falling behind. You're finding your way. Give yourself the grace to not have it all together, and trust that each step, even the shaky ones, are leading you somewhere meaningful. Your 20s are not meant to be a decade of perfection. They are meant to be a decade of exploration. This is the time in your life when you are supposed to try different paths, take risks, and discover what lights your soul on fire. The idea that you have to have everything figured out, settle into a stable job, be in a serious relationship, and have a clear 5-year plan is not only unrealistic, it's limiting. These years are for learning who you are, not just proving yourself to the world. You are not supposed to live your 20s the same way you would live your 40s. You're not building the final version of your life. You're collecting the tools, the lessons, and the experiences you'll need for the journey ahead. This is the time to try things and realize they aren't for you. It's okay to start a job, only to realize a few months later that it doesn't align with your values. It's okay to move to a new city and feel like it's not home. It's okay to start one path and then pivot to something completely different. That doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're learning. Every misstep, every detour, every experiment brings you one step closer to understanding what truly fulfills you. You don't have to get it right on the first try. In fact, most people don't. The ones who appear successful often went through many failures and false starts before they found their stride. But because we don't always see that process, we assume we're the only ones struggling. Exploration also means giving yourself permission to break the rules society has placed on you. Maybe you don't want the traditional 9-5 job. Maybe you're more creative, entrepreneurial, adventurous. Maybe the conventional path doesn't excite you, and that's okay. Your 20s are when you can ask yourself big, uncomfortable questions like, what do I want my life to look like? What kind of person do I want to become? What matters to me more, security or freedom? You're not supposed to have all the answers now, but you're supposed to be searching. The pressure to succeed by external standards too early can rob you of the very journey that leads to your personal definition of success. The truth is, the most meaningful growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. You grow when you try something new, even if you fail. You grow when you take a chance, even if you fall short. You grow when you challenge the idea that there's only one right way to live your life. In your 20s, exploration is not optional, it's essential. This is your opportunity to build a life that reflects who you are, not who others expect you to be. So give yourself permission to be messy, be bold, make mistakes, try again. This is your season to explore. Comparison is one of the biggest traps people fall into during their 20s, and it can quietly destroy your confidence, motivation, and mental well-being. In a world dominated by social media, it's almost impossible to avoid seeing what everyone else is doing. You open your phone, and within seconds you see friends getting promoted, getting married, traveling the world, launching businesses, or hitting major milestones. And without even realizing it, you begin to question yourself. You start thinking, why am I not there yet? Or what am I doing wrong? This constant mental comparison creates a false sense of failure, even when you're making real progress in your own life. The truth is, you're not behind. You're just living your own path, which is supposed to look different from everyone else's. The danger in comparison is that it causes you to measure your life using someone else's ruler. You stop celebrating your small wins because they don't seem to measure up to the highlight reels you see online. But remember this, social media only shows the surface. It doesn't show the late nights, the self-doubt, the anxiety, the failures, or the sacrifices people made to get there. People rarely share the messy parts of their journey, so you're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's polished preview. That's not just unfair, it's damaging. It leads you to doubt your journey and feel like you're constantly playing catch-up in a race that doesn't even exist. When you're always looking sideways, it's hard to move forward. Comparison distracts you from your own goals and values. You might chase things just because they look good on someone else, not because they actually align with who you are. That kind of life eventually leads to burnout and emptiness. Instead, the key is to stay grounded in your own path. Reflect on what success means to you, not what society, family, or social media says it should be. Ask yourself, what kind of life feels meaningful to me? Once you start defining success on your own terms, the urge to compare begins to fade. It's also important to remind yourself that timing is different for everyone. Some people bloom early and others take time to figure things out. Neither is better. You might not have your dream job at 25, and that's okay. You might not be in the right relationship yet, and that's okay. Your timeline is your own. Every day you spend growing, learning, healing, and becoming more self-aware is a day well spent, no matter what anyone else is doing. Instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Are you a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more resilient? That's real progress. Life is not a competition. It's a personal journey, and the only person you need to outgrow is your past self. So stop looking left and right. Keep your eyes on your own road. You are exactly where you need to be. One of the biggest misconceptions people have in their 20s is that they need to have clarity before they take action. They think they need a perfect plan, a clear purpose, and a strong vision before making any moves. But the truth is, clarity doesn't come first, action does. Waiting for a clear path to magically appear will only leave you stuck, overthinking, and paralyzed by indecision. The reality is, you often don't know what you want until you try something, experience it, and learn from it. Life doesn't hand you a map, you build it step by step, decision by decision. It's through taking risks, trying new things, and even making mistakes that you begin to discover who you are. You might think you want to pursue a certain career, but once you're in it, you realize it doesn't make you feel fulfilled. That's not failure, it's feedback. That's valuable data you now have to guide your next step. Every decision you make gives you more information about what feels right and what doesn't. That's how self-discovery works, not in stillness but in motion. The fear of making the wrong choice is what holds so many people back. But what if there is no wrong choice? What if every experience, good or bad, is helping shape the person you're meant to become? When you stop obsessing over getting it right and start focusing on simply learning and growing, everything changes. Action is the antidote to fear. Even small steps create momentum. When you take action, you gain confidence. You build resilience. You develop clarity, not because you had it to begin with, but because you earned it through experience. A lot of people sit on the sidelines waiting for inspiration to strike. They think one day they'll wake up and just know what they're supposed to do, but that moment rarely comes without movement. Clarity is found in the doing. Start a side project, volunteer, take a class, try a job that interests you, move to a new city. These actions, even if they don't lead to your forever path, are all stepping stones that lead you closer to who you are and what you want. Also, don't underestimate the power of curiosity. You don't need to be passionate about something to start. Sometimes, simple curiosity is enough to begin. That tiny spark, when acted on, can lead to something far greater than you ever expected. It may lead you down an unexpected path that reveals your deeper values, your unique talents, or your true calling. So if you're waiting for clarity before you take action, flip the script. Take action first, then the clarity will come. Every step you take, even if it feels uncertain, is shaping your future. Don't be afraid to start before you're ready. You become ready by starting. Growth rarely looks like a smooth, polished journey. More often, it looks like chaos, like sleepless nights, moments of doubt, breakdowns, confusion, and constant second guessing. When you're in your 20s, it can feel like your life is falling apart more than it's coming together. You might change your major, quit your job, leave relationships, lose friends, move back home, or question everything you once believed in. But that doesn't mean you're doing life wrong. It means you're in the middle of growth. Real, transformative growth is messy. It strips away the old parts of you that no longer fit so that you can make space for who you're becoming. And that process isn't clean, convenient, or predictable. It's painful, but it's powerful. People often think that once they choose a path, things will become clearer, easier, and more stable. But in reality, taking steps forward often uncovers more uncertainty. That's because growth involves outgrowing. You begin to see that the things, people, and patterns you once leaned on don't serve you anymore. This can be confusing and emotionally overwhelming, but it's necessary. You're shedding old layers. You're unlearning who you were taught to be so you can discover who you really are. And in that process, things can feel like they're falling apart. But what's actually happening is a deep rebuilding. Think of it like a renovation. Before a space becomes beautiful and functional, it first has to be torn apart. Walls come down, floors are pulled up, and the place looks worse before it gets better. That's exactly how personal growth works. You need to allow the chaos. You need to understand that the confusion, the emotional ups and downs, the moments where nothing makes sense, those are all signs that something important is happening inside you. You're changing. You're evolving. You're growing into the next version of yourself. The problem is that no one really shows this part of the journey. On social media, we mostly see people after they've figured it out. We see the highlight reels, the new jobs, the new homes, the relationships, the achievements. But we rarely see the breakdowns, the fear, and the uncertainty that came before it. So you start to believe that your messiness means you're doing something wrong. But the truth is, everyone has to walk through their own version of chaos to reach clarity, It's not just you, you're not alone in this. So if your life feels like a mess right now, breathe, you are not broken. You are in the process of becoming. Let the chaos shape you. Let it teach you. Let it strengthen you. Don't rush to clean it up or label it as failure. Sometimes the mess is the most important part of your journey. Embrace it, trust it, because out of the mess, something beautiful is being built. In your 20s, it's easy to feel like you're behind. You look around and see people your age doing incredible things, landing dream jobs, starting families, traveling the world, launching businesses. And in contrast, your life might feel quiet, uncertain, or even stuck. That voice in your head starts whispering, "You're not doing enough. You should be further by now." But here's the truth that too many people forget to tell you: you are not behind. You're just getting started. Life is not a race, and there is no universal timeline that you're supposed to follow. Everyone's journey is different, and it's meant to be. We live in a culture that worships speed, faster success, quicker results, early achievements. But speed does not equal meaning. It doesn't equal depth, purpose, or fulfillment. Sometimes the people who take longer to figure things out end up building lives that are more aligned, more resilient, and more deeply satisfying. Taking your time to understand who you are, what you want, and what kind of life feels right for you is not wasted time. It's wisdom. It means you are living intentionally, not just reacting to pressure. The idea that you're behind is rooted in comparison. Behind who? Behind what? Everyone is walking their own path with different starting points, different challenges, and different dreams. You might be building something that takes longer to grow, but that doesn't make it less valuable. In fact, some of the most meaningful and lasting success stories come from people who took their time, made mistakes, learned deeply, and didn't rush. Growth that lasts is often slow and quiet. You may not always see progress on the surface, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. Your 20s are the foundation years. You are planting seeds, and seeds take time to sprout. You're learning how to manage your emotions, how to communicate, how to set boundaries, how to dream for yourself instead of trying to meet everyone else's expectations. These lessons are not instant. They take time to live, to feel, to process. So don't pressure yourself to be finished before you've even really started. You are not supposed to have it all together right now. You're in the beginning chapters of your story. Instead of judging where you are, honor it. Be proud that you're trying. Be proud that you're questioning, learning, and showing up even when it's hard. Those are the real victories. You're not behind just because your path doesn't look like someone else's. You are where you are supposed to be. Your timeline is valid. Your pace is perfect. Keep going. Trust the process. The people who take their time building something meaningful are the ones who end up with lives full of purpose and peace. You're not late. You're not off track. You're just getting started. And that's more than enough. Here's a strong and inspiring conclusion that brings together all the key points from the full speech. So if you're in your 20s and feeling lost, overwhelmed, or like you're falling behind, breathe. You are exactly where you need to be. This season of your life is not about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions. It's about exploring, experimenting, failing, and trying again. It's about discovering who you are by living, not by overthinking. Don't let comparison steal your joy. Don't let social media convince you that you're not doing enough. You are not behind. Your journey is simply unfolding at its own pace. Clarity will come through action. Confidence will grow through mistakes. And who you're becoming matters far more than how perfect things look right now. Growth is messy. It's uncomfortable. It's confusing. But it's also beautiful. Every chaotic moment, every doubt, every risk you take is shaping a stronger, wiser, and more authentic version of you. So take a deep breath, let go of the pressure, keep moving forward, and trust that everything you're going through is preparing you for something greater. You're not lost, you're becoming, and that is exactly what this chapter is meant for. Keep going. Your future self is already proud of how far you've come.